Hi, this is Anil and welcome to the video tutorial for the Learning Lab on C++ programming. So in this tutorial we're going to learn how to create user-defined exceptions in C++. Alright, so here in this tutorial we have included the exception header file because the exception class is the base class for all type of exceptions that we create. It may be user-defined or the standard exceptions available, and also the exception class is defined in the exception header file, and that's why we have included that to our program. Right, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna build a custom class or the user-defined class which is gonna inherit from the exception class. So here in this tutorial we're gonna write a exception class which is gonna check for the over speed of a car. If the car speed exceeds some limit, the exception will be thrown, and we're gonna execute the methods inside our exceptions. So first it's gonna be the class, and then the class name, let's say overspeed, and then it should inherit from the exception class, so it's gonna be public, the public inheritance, and then exception. And also make a note that we are using small letter here, not the capital letter E here. Alright, then the class body. So here in this class overspeed, let's have a private member and let's call it as speed. Alright, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna define the public access specifier, and here we're gonna override the method which is written in this exception class, which is the what method. In the previous tutorials we have used that method. So here it's gonna be const, then char star, and then the method name, which is what, and it's not gonna take any parameters. So here we need to return a string value or a character sequence, so it's gonna be return, and here this method will be called to check what type of exception occurred, what happened in the program. So here we're just gonna say check out your car speed, and let's add a new line, and I'm gonna use the escape sequence /n, and then we're gonna say you are in the car, not in the aeroplane, just a message to the user. So it's gonna be you are in the car, not in the aeroplane. Alright, let's add a new line by using the escape sequence /n, then add the semicolon here. So now we have overloaded the method which will be called by using an object of this class overspeed. And here in this class you guys want to write any other methods, you guys can do that. Just for the demonstration purpose I'm gonna write a method which is used to get the speed of the car. So let's say it's gonna be void and get speed, and here it's gonna be a cout statement, so it's gonna be cout and speed. Along with that, let's print some message, your car speed is. Alright, now speed. The next method that we're gonna build is gonna be used to set the value to this speed. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it in the next line, and I'm gonna change this one to set speed, and let's say set speed, and it's gonna take an integer value int speed, and that is gonna store that value in the member speed. So it's gonna be this arrow operator speed equal to speed. Alright, now we have defined a user-defined class or a user-defined exception. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna build a class where we're gonna throw the exception. So here the class is gonna be a car. So after the class definition of this overspeed, I'm gonna write class and car, the name of the class, and this class is not gonna inherit from any other classes. So here in this car class also we can have a member called speed, and then we're gonna have the public access specifier, and let's define a constructor and let's call it as car, and it's gonna set the speed of the car to 0, and if you want you guys can print out that. So it's gonna be cout speed is 0, and let's end this line. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna write a method which is called accelerate. So in this method accelerate, we're gonna check for the speed for some particular limit, and if the speed exceeds that limit, and then at that time we're gonna throw the exception. So it's gonna be void, and let's say accelerate, and this method is not going to take any parameters. So here what we're going to do is we're going to build a infinite for loop. So it's going to be for and 2 semicolons, no testing or any increment or any conditions there. And here we're going to increase the speed, so it's going to be speed plus equal to, and let's say 10. For every iteration we are increasing the speed by a value of 10, and then we're gonna print out the value of the speed. So I'm gonna copy this. Okay, what we can do is we can change this one to is, and then refer to the speed here. Alright, now I'm gonna copy this statement and paste it here, and then we're gonna check for the speed. If speed is greater than or equal to, let's say, a limit 250, and at that time what we want to do is we want to throw an exception. So when we throw an exception, the thrown object is going to be of type overspeed, because the speed exceeds the limit, so overspeed. So here first what we're going to do is we're going to build an object of this overspeed class. So it's going to be overspeed, the class name, and then let's say object name yes, and then we can pass the speed of this car to the member of this exceptional object speed. Don't get confused, we're just passing the speed of the car to this exceptional object. So that's why it's gonna be yes dot set speed method, and it's gonna be speed. Alright, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna throw the exception here. So that's why it's gonna be throw, and then it's gonna be yes. Alright, now we have defined a user defined exception by extending the exception class, and also we have defined a class where the exception will be thrown. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna create an object of this class car in my main function. So it's gonna be car, and okay, we have a default constructor with no parameters. Let's say Anil's car, and you don't need to pass any parameters. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna call this accelerate method. So this accelerate method is gonna throw an exception. That's why what we're gonna do is we're gonna call that method inside the try and catch. So it's gonna be try, and then it's gonna be Anil's car dot accelerate, and that's it. Then we're gonna build the catch block. So it's gonna be catch, and it's gonna be an object of the overspeed class. So it's gonna be overspeed, and let's say s, and then let's see what methods we can call. We can call get speed and what. Alright, so now I'm gonna use cout, and let's say yes dot what happened, what type of exception, and let's end this line. And also we're gonna call the get speed method. This get speed method is not gonna return any values, it's just gonna print out the values. That's why we can call that without using the cout. So it's gonna be yes dot get speed. Okay, get speed. Alright, now I'm gonna save this program. I'm gonna build and run this, and hopefully we don't have any error. Alright, now you guys can see our car started at 0, then the acceleration 10, 20, 30, 40, similarly 240, 250. At that time when the speed becomes 250, the exception is thrown, and it says check out your car speed. That's in the catch block. Check out your car speed. You are in the car, not in the aeroplane, and your car speed is 250. So in this tutorial we have defined a user defined exception by inheriting from the exception class, and also I have showed you how to pass the values to the exceptional object that you create in your program, and also how to write the methods in the user defined exceptional class and access them in your program. So that's it guys, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.